Welcome out, everybody. Appreciate you coming today. This is a story about integrity, mostly perseverance, and a little bit of charisma. So, I've been in this business for 30 years. My name's Marty Gell. I'm with Utah Realty. I started in 1986, and about 2 years into the business, I was sitting out in a model home and twiddling my thumbs and wondering what to do when somebody comes in. They pulled up in a white Cadillac with an adult boy, probably in his 20s, and a younger gal, and a poodle, a white poodle. Of course, the lady was blonde with a fur coat, just to give you the picture. So she comes strutting in with a rather fast-paced attitude and asked me what was going on with this particular home and a few questions, and proceeded to look around quickly. She found that it wasn't to her suiting, so she promptly turned around with her posse and hauled out the front door. I thought, oh, I'm not going to let this one get away that easy. So I ran out the front door and asked her if there was anything else I could do. Is there any other homes I could show you? Is there something else that could possibly pique your interest? She says, well, I'm just starting to look and would like to see a number of homes. I said, well, why don't we get together and try to find you something? All right. So one thing led to another, and sure enough, started to show this lady homes. After it seemed like about 150 homes. It probably wasn't that many, but it was a lot of homes. She thanked me and decided to wait. I went, okay. But in treating her nicely, with respect, she called me back another time, this time with a new fiance. Apparently her husband had gotten to the point to where they didn't get along and they got a divorce. And this new boyfriend happened to be a very prominent Utah attorney, and everybody knew his name. So that was a little nerve-wracking when I picked them up and noticed that this particular attorney that was on TV a lot was standing right there next to her. Well, we proceeded to look at a whole lot of other homes, and as time went by, I got into the summer, and I like to fly fish. That's one of the things I do. And I happened to decide one weekend I was going to go up fly fishing with my father. When I came back on Monday, they had given me the bad news. They had found a house and unfortunately just wrote it up. It was a condo, a large townhome in a beautiful gated community. I was sad, but was polite. And it seemed like about a year later, I was probably in my late 20s at the time, I got another phone call. And this time, it was from a gal that I didn't recognize her voice, from the gentleman's law firm. And she said to me, I've been assigned by Bob, we'll use his name, to take care of his father's estate. And we would like you to come out and do a market analysis. We appreciate all that you've done for my wife, for his wife and I. She said, to me that Bob appreciated everything that I had done. And in doing so, he wanted me to list this property. I thought it was very kind of him because I had put hours and hours into this particular couple. So we listed the property, and during the process of listing it, I had dealings with this particular paralegal several times. If I back up a bit, when I first got to talk to her on the phone, it sounded like some really sweet 40-year-old. And I was a rather charismatic late 20-year-old. Well, when I got to pick up the keys to this new property that I was going to sell, out walks this bombshell strawberry blonde with beautiful blue eyes. And after I gathered my senses and put my tongue back in my mouth and probably pulled my foot out at the same time, I got the keys and left thinking, gosh, she sure was a nice gal. I'm kind of tired of dating. I was just into my career. Thought maybe I should give her a call sometime. So I proceeded to move along with Bob's father's condo, and quickly enough we got an offer on it, and quickly enough I'd asked this paralegal out. Treading that thin line of client relationship and making everybody happy. Well, that closed. And as time went by, we started dating steadily. And another call came in. Well, by this time, we were dating quite a lot and liking each other quite a lot. So I don't know if we were in love with each other, but we really liked each other. So I went out to list Bob's condo that they bought without me. And I thought, well, that's nice. I appreciated that. As time went by, well, not as time went by, let me back up. So I went to the condo. My girlfriend wanted to come with me. But for some reason, she didn't want to go in. But she says, let me give you a big kiss on the cheek for good luck. And I, of course, said yes. And off I went, with all the confidence of a young 29-year-old or so. In I went, Mr. Business. You know, the sport coat, the briefcase, ready to talk serious business. When I got in and I was looking around, Bob and his now wife were there looking at me like I was just the cutest boy on the street, with such squishy grins on their face, I couldn't quite figure it out. But I was bound and determined to stay very businesslike. All the while, they had these funny looks on their faces. Well, luckily enough, we did the paperwork. I walked out with the listing. When I got back to the car, my girlfriend looks at me with a big smile on her face, and she goes, and I look in the mirror and I go, oh, I had the biggest red smacker on my face that you could ever imagine. Oh my gosh. So we listed that condo. We sold that condo. I married that gal. We sold them another great big house on the hill. She got another job. I went to the closing. Bob says, gee, Marty, I think you owe me for stealing my paralegal. And I smiled at him and I said, you're absolutely right. But I'm taking the money anyway. And that is a lesson through a story that tells you that if you treat people right and you persevere and you have integrity, you'll find the wife that you've been married to for 30 years. And that's my interview. I hope you like it.